Many years ago, Mezie married a rich king's daughter called Bunite. The king of Koga in Old Warri area was powerful. Mezie came from a family without a name, as in his family was very poor and not known for any significant thing in Koga. But Mezie was determined that since he had gone to school and acquired good education, he would convince the king that he would be able to take care of the princess. The king saw Mezie and loved him for his daughter Bunite and gave him his daughter as wife. Bunite came into the marriage with a lot of airs. Mezie had to always be on his toes to please Bunite. Sometimes she would remind him of her rich background and his poor background. However, Mezie kept working hard, come rain, come shine. Because he owned his own building construction business, sometimes to satisfy his wife, he would work throughout the night in order to deliver a job faster and be paid. That was the life of Mezie, year in, year out. When he became successful, Bunite was never satisfied, never ever satisfied. She kept yabbing him and saying, if I married a rich man, my life would have been better. If I married a millionaire, my skin would have been glowing far better. I would be able to do a lot of things with money. But here I am, pinching pennies. Mezie would respond, how are you pinching pennies when I gave you 200k just a few days ago? Bunite responded, 200k? Is that one money? In my father's house, that was like a daily stipend when I was younger and had far less needs. When I got older, he would give me an open check to go shopping with. He would send me to London with open checks. Now, when you give me just 200,000 naira, I was receiving as daily stipend as a teenager, you make mouth that you gave me money? Now wow, Mezie would shake his head, feeling disappointed, and walk away. Mezie and Bunite have two sons together, Eto and Ndife. Mezie and his wife wanted the best education for their children. Bunite was one to attend all the PTA meetings, take them to register at a new school and all that. Soon they were done with school and Eto worked in his father's business, while Ndife found a job elsewhere. One day, disaster struck. Mezie rejected a sack of money some government officials sent him as bribe to do the wrong thing on a government project he was handling. In a few days, some gunmen on his way home riddled his body with bullets and left him thinking he had died. Mezie didn't buy. Good Samaritans saw him and picked him up to the hospital. After several surgeries and several months in the hospital, he became better. Bunite was praying and taking care of her husband. Soon he was discharged from the hospital, and after about 4 months, he became well enough to swing back to work. Mezie would never be the same again though. He was in and out of hospital. Later, he became so sick he had to be on admission at the hospital, and he was getting worse instead of getting better. His business was functioning only partially. Bunite had a business, a boutique, so occasionally she would go to check what was going on in her shop. And now that Mezie isn't supplying the kind of money she wants daily or weekly, something has to happen. Bunite needs more money like yesterday. Their combined businesses cannot accommodate her spending spree anymore. He has an old friend that is rich, cash loaded. Tampolo is not just a major importer of cars into the country, but he owns a shipping line, Tampolo Base. Bunite has been seeing Tampolo. She wants some phone. Her husband is very sick, but she's not there. He wants to talk to someone, but he doesn't see Bunite. Eto, the first son, was almost always there by the father's bedside. For 3 days at a stretch, Bunite didn't come to the hospital, and she was not at home either. 3 whole days. Mezie sent Eto to call his bank account officers. They added Eto as signatory to all his accounts for easy movement of money for hospital bills and anything that they needed. While at a high-end hotel in Warri, where Tampolo was giving Bunite a treat, Tampolo's boy, Andy, came to deliver a pack of secret documents to Tampolo. Andy greeted them, dropped the pack, and left. How would Andy handle this? Andy is Eto's very good friend. In fact, less than a month ago, he sent Eto 300,000 to support him over his dad's hospitalization. When Bunite saw him, she was taken aback but pretended not to know him. And Andy felt disappointed in Bunite and very cross that his friend's mother could be good timing while her husband was hanging between life and pain at the hospital. The next day, Andy put a call across to Eto. How are you doing, friend? How are you doing? I don't know. How have you been? How is your old man? Eto said, well, I really don't know. He was very bad last night, but he seems a bit better this morning. Andy said, but you, how are you? Eto responded, Andy, this is one of the hardest things I've ever faced in my young life. In fact, the hardest. In my dad, a strong man becoming feebler and feebler by the day. Not just feeble, but completely incapacitated. It is truly a devastating experience. And my mom, who ought to be my next hope of strength and wisdom, has not been here for days now. Nobody seems to know where she is. Andy, I am restless. My heart is heavy. Andy said, Eto, calm down. Just calm down. I'm coming. Just be calm. I am coming, okay? On his way, he entered an eatery and bought food for Eto and his dad and snacks here and there. Eto saw him and his face lit up as he walked into the hospital. His dad was sleeping. In order not to disturb the man, they shifted to a corner of the room and were talking in whispers. Andy asked, why has your mom not been here for days? Eto said, I don't know. I don't really know. It's not just that she has not been here, but nobody knows where she is. She doesn't pick our calls. She doesn't respond to our messages. And overall, she has not been consistently here. There's always one excuse or another why she would leave my dad's bedside. She's my mom, all right, but I see in her a reflection of the very selfish, uncommitted to family women in our society. I feel pained for my dad. How could his own wife do this? I am now even scared of women. To think that just before my dad got hospitalized, she was asking me when I would get married. I gave a lame excuse, but now, Andy, women? Count me out, oh. Andy said, okay, so she has not really been committed to taking care of your dad? What a wife. What a mother. Eto, I am sorry, but I just must tell you this. It is a gossip, maybe a dangerous one. But if I don't tell you, I don't know who would. I have a picture of your mom with Tampolo. You know him? You remember him? Eto said, yes, I know him. Who doesn't know Tampolo in this worry? I saw them together at the Zang Hotel. My pen camera picked it. My Oga Tampolo gave me the pen. I have no way of buying such a pen now. It's too expensive. He gave me the pen to use daily while checking vessels and things here and there around the office. But I went straight to him from the office yesterday and the pen was in my shirt pocket. And the pen picked them. Andy opened his phone and showed Eto the photos. Eto had tears running down his face. He was so pained and embarrassed. Andy said, Eto, your mom might be a disappointment this time around. At the point both your dad and you all needed her most. But we shall not lose sight of the fact that she is a human being at the end of the day. Humans are full of frailties, up today, down tomorrow. Yes, I expected something much more, much better, but she must have her reasons. Eto asked, reasons to abandon us at this critical point in time? Andy said, Eto, you are a man now. Be the man to your family. Be the man for your family. Your brother is looking up to you. Do not fail. Your mom may come back, but it's really sad. I am dumbfounded that after all I witnessed your dad do for her, she could do this at his greatest point of need. But like I said, she's a human being. I have to go now. Make sure you eat, please. I would have stayed, but I will come back tomorrow. There's a document I need to get from Corporate Affairs Commission today. I need to get there before they close. The next day, Bunite came to the hospital. Eto looked at her with disdain and didn't even greet her. He blurted out, why are you here now? Why are you here today? What did you come for? You came to see if he has spied? She said, what's your problem, Eto? You didn't even bother to know what happened before throwing your silly words at me? Eto retorted, you call my words silly? Okay, no problem. You are my mother and his wife. I would have walked you out of this room the moment you stepped in here. Bunite sat by Mezie, whose eyes were shut, and began to talk to him softly. Honey, you have to be well. Be well for us. I have not been here for 2 days now because I went to the village to pray for you. I have been on a fast. I have been praying and praying and praying with some of our pastor friends. On my way back, my car broke down and someone gave me a ride. He said he wanted to eat and I accompanied him to Zank Hotel to eat. But by the time we finished eating, it was late for me to come home, knowing the danger of crossing Boromi Bridge after 9 p.m. But I'm here now. I am here to take care of you. I have prayed. You have to be well, please. Bunite was feeling cool and tough at her drama when something big now happened. Mezie's sister Alice, who lives in Australia, heard about her brother and arrived days before and visited Mezie at the hospital. Bunite was not there. Mezie's condition was so bad that her stomach turned. It turned so badly that she became sick. She became better and went to the hospital. Bunite was at the bedside when Alice walked in. She frowned and asked Bunite to leave the hospital immediately. She told Bunite not to come to the hospital again till she, Alice, leaves the hospital, as in leaves Nigeria. Bunite tried to struggle, but her own son Eto told her to leave immediately. She started shedding crocodile tears and left. Alice was there with Eto, taking care of Mezie, cleaning him up and doing whatever was needed to be done for him. Soon Alice needed to go back to Australia. She had spent 3 weeks in Warri, taking care of Mezie daily, except for the few days that she was sick. She had to go back to work. She prayed that Mezie would pull through, but he was already unconscious by the time Alice left. In another 2 weeks, the story changed. Mezie has spied. Bunite was there crying and rolling on the floor. Eto was swift. He went home and locked his dad's room after picking up every useful document. His personal expensive things like his expensive wristwatches, keys to his 3 best cars. Eto collected all and locked the room. He went and locked up his personal office at his company headquarters. Bunite had no access to anything Mezie owned. Soon they needed to lay him down to rest. Bunite had no information about anything except the particular date of the event because there were posters. On the posters and flyers, Eto wrote, "Survived by family." The day arrived and Bunite was told not to appear at the venue of the event in Koga at all. Eto also sent a message to tell her people not to bother appearing there. The king, Bunite's father, had since died. That was how Bunite, the princess, the king's daughter, became an unwanted person in her own home. After the event, they came back to Warri, where Eto restricted her to her own room and made no provision for her at all. Her boutique was shut down. Her workers all left. Her story was going round and everyone that heard poured blames on her. Bunite became penniless, even begging to eat. She decided to leave. Her younger sister, Boma, had just given birth to her fourth child. She decided to go to her house. Boma has a beautiful relationship with her husband and they are both doing very well financially and in raising their kids. Because Bunite was around, Boma felt free to sometimes do a bit extra at her office before going home. She also had 2 competent nannies. Bunite talks on the phone with Tampolo often. And this happens even in the presence of Boma's children. One day, she wanted to talk smooth with Tampolo, and she went to a corner. The first child, Zumba, who was 9 years old at that time, climbed atop the fridge while doing hide and seek with his siblings. Bunite was standing beside the fridge, not knowing that the boy was on top of the fridge, talking smooth with Tampolo. It was a video call, and as she blew a goodbye kiss on Tampolo, the boy waved at the phone. Bunite was again embarrassed to see the boy grinning. She hit him and threatened him if he dared tell his mom. Zumba still reported to his mom. Boma invited her to her bedroom for a conversation on all this, and she warned her sternly and even threatened to throw her out if she doesn't want to cut ties with Tampolo. Sadly and unfortunately, Bunite doesn't hear. She is too consumed with her life of immediate gratification. She is too consumed with her self-centeredness. The day came when all the kids except the baby, whose nanny was caring for, went to school. Tampolo came around and Bunite jumped into his car immediately. They wanted to go chill out in a high-end hotel in Warri. Just about 500 meters away from Boma's compound, they heard gunshots. It was a gang's shootout. As they were trying to escape, a bullet hit Tampolo's chest and he died there. The driver continued to the hospital where he was certified died. The police got into investigations, and who was picked up? Bunite, because he was last seen with Tampolo. The case didn't go to court, but she spent 5 whole years in police custody as nobody was willing to bail her. Police only released her when they got to know she was a princess of Toga. By then also she was very sick, suffering from some STD. She got to the house she owned with Mezie, and it had new occupants. Eto and his brother had sold the house, shut down Mezie's office and sold the property also. They bought a twin duplex where they live side by side and doing well in their businesses. 5 months after, Bunite was found lying at a street corner during Harmattan as a beggar. She didn't last long there because she died. Koga people heard and came and carried her and committed her to Mother Earth in an evil forest. They did this because her stories filtered back to Koga and they were very angry. What a wife! Be careful of the man or woman or the friend by your side who is never satisfied with what you give or do. A person who belittles the efforts you make to please him or her, never ever satisfied. Please be careful. Is there anything Mezie should have done to make his life better? Is there anything he should have done to satisfy Bunite? What about Eto? Should he have done anything better for his father or for his mother? Please share your thoughts with us at the comment section below. 3 other things we would like you to do that wouldn't cost you any money at all are, please, number 1, click the thumbs up button. 2, click the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. 3, share this story with your friends and family. This may save a life, or save a relationship, or save a marriage. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there for us. This is African Folktales ChinChin. Till our next very interesting story video, remain truly amazing. Goodbye.